What? What happened? Kurt, you know Kurt did something. What happened? What happened? I missed it. He's sitting right there, him and Tanaka. But then that night, then Nick comes in too. He's, after Vernon goes running out, Nick goes, "You guys, I tell you what, no more. You just don't mess with the big." He calls himself the big buck. Don't be trying to rib the big buck. Do not rib. I'll just warn y'all one time. Do not rib the big buck. That night we had to drive a 3-hour drive somewhere in Wisconsin. It was snowing, and we had our show, and everything seemed to go off, with no problems. Then we're driving back. It was me, Kurt, Shawn, Tanaka. We were in Kurt's Blazer driving back. Nick had left. We stopped and got a couple of drinks somewhere or something. Nick left way ahead of us. Oftentimes you do pass each other going to the same town. We're all going back to Minneapolis from wherever we were, in Wisconsin or Green Bay or something, a 3-hour trip. But the thing was, it was a heavy snow. It was hard to drive that night. I mean, it was, you got to be real careful. And we seen Nick's car. We're coming up and like, wow, there's somebody. Why? Nick should have been gone a long time ago. Kurt's driving. He starts laughing, which already that tells you something's up, right? So we're catching up with Nick's car, and we're looking over, and we're hearing this. What the hell? He's just like, his car's gonna blow up or something. And Nick's like, he's driving like this. I mean, because like I said, it's the weather. He's like right near, and Kurt's like, roll the window down. So rolls the window down. You hear this. Like, what the shit? Should we tell him his car's gonna? Kurt goes, T-count effect. Look right there on his doorknob. On his doorknob is a lock, and it's just banging up against the side of the thing. And he goes, double effect. Look at the front, and his little hood ornament on the front had a lock, and they're just banging away on the car. So he goes, now watch this. He blows the horn, and Nick looks over at us. Nick's got these big ass glasses. You like look at Coke. He looks over at it, and there's a lock right in the middle of his glasses. And he just looks at us, and he's mad as hell. We just laugh. The whole carload died laughing, just take off. But that was the big bug. He said not the real. And Nick actually come and got me back for that. He came and super glued my car. The locks in it, super glued them all shut. I guess he figured I did that because of the shit with Kurt. But that was some of the stuff. Some of the ribs there, the AWA days that used to drive them a little bit crazy. It was all in fun.
Did you guys respect Vern back then, or
there was a respect, but it was you had to respect him as what he was was he a national champion? Was he? He was. He was very high up there in amateur wrestling, and what he'd done in the business too. You had to have that respect. Plus, he was the owner, promoter, or whatever. But it was just, like I said, just the way he treated some of the guys was disrespect. It was respect and it was disrespect both.
Do you think that he could have done anything to save the company?
That'd have been tough, man, because I think Vince was just buying just money, unless Vern was going to try to match him, dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think he made a good effort to create new stars and give you guys the ball to take over for the guys?
No, that might be what it was too, because he kind of was stuck with wanting to keep everything 50s, 60s style with what was successful then. I mean, he didn't see the change coming. Basically, it was a change, and he didn't see it or he didn't agree with it. And like our thing was as far out as he was going to go. With us doing the rock and roll, high flying, high energy, crazy stuff. Like I said, the Road Warriors. I mean, that was too much for them. I guess that's why they took off. Because they had the kick-ass character, and maybe he didn't like that they didn't sell enough or whatever it was. The Freebirds. I mean, he had all the talent up there, but I think he just misused it.
Okay. All right, turning to the in-ring stuff in AWA, we'll start out with probably the most famous match that you had in AWA, that bloodbath against Buddy Rose and Doug Summers. I think it's on the Shawn Michaels TV that WWF just put out too. Yeah. What are your memories of that match?
The very first thing that comes to mind when I think about it is how Shawn was so damn scared because he couldn't get his blade out. He come over, he goes, I can't get it out. What the hell do I do? I was like, settle down. He was so nervous, I started getting nervous. I mean, it was. I don't know that I'm sure he had juiced before that, but I mean, I think.
Was that the first time you guys juiced in AWA?
I don't know. Okay. Honestly, probably, but I don't know that for sure. Yeah. But I just remember him coming over to me, and if you watch that video, you'll see when he's over. We're talking, It's right after the couple of nice little spots he does with whoever buddy, where we got a couple of near falls. Then it was time to get the juice, and he comes right over to me. If you ever see that again, you watch it. He's talking. He's just, you look at it. He's fumbling around at the wrist. He's panicking. He's like, I can't get. What the hell? Give me your blade. Give me your blade. Give me. I was like, settle down. So take it easy. No, I can't get it out. He's just like, oh God. And but he ended up. He got everything was fine. But two, if you watch next time you watch that. It was funny. Maybe he hadn't juiced for it, I don't know. Because I remember when he went out to the floor to get it, if you remember, he had his head under the ring. You know, he was completely, you know, like an ostrich with his head and all. Which I was like, oh my God, don't make it too obvious, right? And then he comes out with the blood out from underneath his head and the thing with the blood. But I loved that match. I mean, because, you know, it was the bloodbath. It was just something to it. Working with Buddy and Doug was a pleasure. You know, just like the grapplers were our mentors at that point in our career for me and Tommy Rogers. I don't know if Shawn got to work with them. But Buddy and Doug took us, you know, for that level, took us to the next step. It was always a learning and a pleasure thing to work with them. I think, you know, the angle got drawn out a little bit long for whatever reasons, but that particular match, it just seemed like the crowd there at the Showboat was really a good crowd, and they were seemed like they were really into that one. I mean, it was like I think everybody thought that with the Rockers or Midnight Rockers were going to win the belt that night, and then when the blood started coming and it started looking like, oh God, they're getting killed. You just feel the energy from the people. It was like something. I don't know, it was something different. I mean, you experienced that later on in your career, but I think that was the first time I ever felt that during the match, the connection with the crowd, where you just became a part of one whole thing. Instead of, you know, there was no separation in the ring and the people. It was just all one. If that makes any sense. I mean, I understand it, but I don't know if it makes sense.
What were some of the most important things that you learned from Summers and Rose?
To always have a lot of beer if you're going to be doing the powder, so that you can kind of level us off. Oh, you mean in the ring? Oh, okay. All right. we quite a bit, man. They taught us how to progress a match with the intensity, how you start off with some spots and you're. I tell you, what I'm thinking of right now, Tully and Arm were the best at that. When we worked with them, the Brain Busters, but I'll stay right here for now. But they kind of initiated teaching that the progression of a match as far as the intensity, starting off with whatever the comical, like Buddy would come out there with he weighs 217 and have a scale and get on it, but everybody would say he's 271 or whatever, and whatever his little things he'd do with the crowd. But then you take it into wrestling. Then you take it into the next level. The heels get pissed off. We get a little more intense. Just the progression of a match, of the intensity of a match. I think we learned quite a bit there. Just how to work 20, 30-minute matches and not lose to people. You know, not get redundant with what you're doing. And, a lot of locker room stuff from Buddy. I mean, he'd tell you, you know. But I mean, yeah, it was it was. I think we went around a year with them, yeah. And it was like even up to the end of the year, we were still learning a little something from them, because I think we finished off with cage matches, and you know, I'd had a couple cage matches prior to that. I think I had Bob Brown, maybe one other cage match my entire up to that point, and then we started going around with them with the cage matches, and they taught us, you know, how to milk the crowds with how, you know, if it's the first one over the top or whatever it was, you know, just how to milk the cage. I mean, it was always something we learned from them. We never stopped, even when we were done. I think it was all said and done, and we were done with them. The last match we had, we learned a little something, you know.
is titanium. One of the hardest metals known to man. The new Remington Titanium series is the world's only shaver with titanium-coated blades for a shave that's close and comfortable. The Remington Titanium Collection. It could just make all other shavers obsolete.
Ding 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 ding. Go
crazy and get the Crazy Frog as a ringtone on your mobile now. For just £3, you can choose up to 5 ringtones a week from just 60p per tone. Text Frog 13 for the mono, Frog 14 for the poly, or Frog 15 for the crazy real sound to 88888.
If you've been the victim of an accident at work or on the road, you want your compensation claim dealt with efficiently and sensitively. A call to BGR Bloomer means you're being dealt with by a specialist solicitor from day one, not a call centre. Most importantly of all, there will not be any cost to you, guaranteed. Call us now on 0800 050 1005 and we'll get to work on your claim immediately.
Buy a new Tender Crisp or Whopper meal deal from BK and get a hot tune from MyCokeMusic.com. We're Burger King.
You're the boss! Welcome to the Jump the Crazy Farm. For just £3, you can choose up to 6 wallpapers a week. Do you want to get jiggy with Mr. Biggie? Then have a look at these wallpapers. For the British Bulldog, text Farm 35 to 88888. If you like cats, text Farm 34. Give me a big monkey kiss. Text Farm 33. Hit the Crazy Frog by texting Farm 32. My tip of the week, the sexy lime cat. Text Farm 31 to 88888. Respect.
Any of your what were like your favorite angles or matches from that whole program?
You know, man, they did some dirty shit to me and Shawn. They not Buddy and Doug, but AWA, the Gagnes, whoever. They did one thing where I mean, still have a touch of this car. That was almost 20 years ago. Damn, I'm getting old. They had a deal where Buddy and Doug supposedly jumped us in the parking lot because they didn't want us coming after their title thing, and they had told Shawn and I, go home, take a towel, and just scrub the skin off your face. Don't worry, it'll be scabbed for a day or two, and you'll be fine. You know, so Shawn and I always trying to be the best we could, no matter what it was we were doing. So we just took the towel and just, for about a half an hour, rinsed on our damn faces, and I had this big, like, size of a damn moon cricket scab right here. And Shawn, I think, got his eye up in here. I mean, it wasn't something that went away in a few days, like they said. I mean, like I said, I think this little pinkness right here is from that was 20 years ago. That I had a circle, looked like a birthmark for about 5 or 6 years. From that thing, it could be seen very well. And again, it was to be because they jumped us in the parking lot, you know, to keep us coming after their belts. So we come to that TV taping, big scab here on me, and Shawn's got one big here. And they're like, oh, well, we're not going to do that now. We changed our mind. I think that was them getting back at the Misfits a little bit, and son of a bitches. That was the experience that came over to the youth there. They got us with that one.
What are your memories of your feud against the new Midnight Express when they came in?
The new Midnight Express was
Randy Rose and Dennis Condrey.
They were good, man. That was fun. It was easy, fun. I'm trying to remember if we worked with the original. I think we did work with the original once or twice also, but they were both teams were very good.
Yeah.
It was easy. And they were, again, we learned from them. I mean, I can't tell you what particular aspect of the business we learned or any particular one thing, but you know, every time we worked with the guys like that, they were very experienced and were good. We learned a little something, you know, even if it was how just to flow with each other or whatever. You know, just watch how they worked with each other. We'd see that, not necessarily what they do against us, but how they interacted amongst themselves as far as in the ring. You know, and we were like, hey, yeah, that's what we should, you know. So we always a little something from everybody.
What was Paul Heyman like back then?
I'm gonna try not to say too much bad about Paul. It'll be real hard.
Just focusing on the AWA.